I'm making the same face that I was in that picture without my crooked goatee.
Can you cue up that picture of Steve Cully again that you have there? It is phenomenal.
Yeah, I was in a wrestling ring. I was in my glory. You have a problem with that?
It looked retarded.
Well, you talking about glory holes and me frequenting them is retarded. So
well, I am the voice of reason. I only speak the truth.
Well, I don't go to glory holes. I don't like them, and I don't trust them.
I didn't say you go to them. I say you fabricated some.
I don't fabric. How do you fabricate a glory hole?
Sawzall, man, little cuts. They have the circular.
So you're saying you think I'm going around cutting holes?
Absolutely.
In bathroom stalls?
Absolutely. Have you seen the case that you carry your equipment around in? There's a saw in there somewhere. Absolutely.
This is before we start the show. We should go. Which picture is better of Steve Cully? Here you go.
Let's see him. Let's see him.
Which one? See him up here?
You got 45 pictures of me.
Oh man, I don't know. I would.
Listen, I don't take bad pictures. I don't take any bad pictures.
None of those are going up on anybody's wall.
I take great pictures. Right here. I'm very photogenic.
Yeah, that one looks good.
I'm very photogenic.
What is that?
Is that a flannel?
Oh, that's when I was on TV. I was on TV, so I wore that.
Yeah, very nice. There you
go. Yeah, I was on TV. Yeah.
Fantastic, Steve.
I was working at the Chamber of Commerce. Yeah.
Yep. You're big time.
Yep. Tim Murray. Former lieutenant governor.
Is that him, the picture of the moose?
He loved me. No.
If you go back down just a little more, Dave. Keep going.
Where's a picture of a moose?
Downward. Go not up but down. All right, yeah, you're going up. Go the other way, Dave. Go the other way down, and you'll see I think there it is, the Utica University
moose. What's that to do with me?
That's the UU moose.
That has nothing to do with me.
That's a portrait right there. I
was a moose for a few months.
Yeah,
and I still don't understand it.
It looks just like you. I mean, look at the scowl on that moose.
Orange. I'm not orange.
The horns. Well, yeah, you are. You're a Trump fan.
No.
You're a fan of the orange man. You've got horns coming out of your head. Yeah, I think that's you. I like the moose.
Stephen, that's not me either. All right, so can we get rid of the pictures?
This is great.
You want to go through my pictures? We'll go through everyone's pictures. Frank, let's go through your picture.
Look at any picture you want. I could care less.
So this is the
Frank Cristiano.
Yeah, we get lots of pictures on.
Oh, yeah. There'll be tons of them.
This is the Rebel Republic on 97.9 Unity Radio. You're either with us or you're against us. And to my left, Frank Cristiano, and he won't pay his bills in joy for the foreseen future.
Nope.
And he is the self-proclaimed voice of reason.
I am, as always.
AKA, he is against DEI hires.
I'm not against DEI hires.
I'm not against DEI.
I don't like the DEI program because I think you should be hired on your merit.
Well, that's not going to happen in this country.
Oh, it will.
It won't. And then there's Coach Schuman. Coach Schuman, the next greatest influencer, 1.2 million subscribers. To Coach Schuman Sports and Entertainment YouTube channel. We provide you with the best content around, whether it's politics, whether it's real estate, whether it's sports, basketball, football, college football. It doesn't matter. We are the best of the best. And no broadcast team can hang with us. So you better get ready for it. You better get ready and you better like it. Or learn to like it, or go tune into somewhere else. You can go to Locked On and lock my balls as far as I'm concerned. What do you think about that, Dave? Just take a swig from your coffee mug. Are you going to be able to stay awake this time? We're going to keep you awake? Yeah. Shane Stafford informed me that he can't do tomorrow's show because he has classes. Why did he notify you as well? I would like to know that.
I think because tomorrow I have College Football Frenzy with him. The show.
Oh, so can I do it with you? Will that be allowed? Yeah. So I'll get to do it with you, and we'll do it better. So I'm going to let Shane know that I'm going to do College Football Frenzy with you, and it's going to be better.
Oh, he's going to get mad. Don't get him mad, please.
I won't get him mad. I won't get him mad. So I wanted to start off with this news I heard that was kind of confusing to me. The Weiss report came out, and Hunter Biden is in a little bit of a pickle, I would say. It says Hunter's drug use can't explain away not paying taxes on money earned by last name. As a well-educated lawyer and businessman, Mr. Biden consciously and willfully chose not to pay at least $1.4 million in taxes.
Oh, wow.
So why? First of all, why would he do that? His father's the president. Why would he not pay his taxes? There's nothing more American than paying your taxes.
When you're blitzed on cocaine, I mean, sometimes you forget.
Oh, is that you think he just forgot?
I think he didn't care. I think he was high every day. I think he was out of his gourd. I think he was the one that brought cocaine into the White House. Cocaine into the White House is not a normalcy kind of thing.
You're telling me that there was cocaine in the White House?
Absolutely.
And it's been proven.
It's been proven. It was there. They unfortunately could not, with all the cameras and all the security and everything that they had in the White House, they could unfortunately not trace it back to anyone directly.
Well, that's what they said. They don't have cameras in the bathroom though. Right. I
cannot.
I think for national
verify.
Security reasons, you'd have to.
You may have to, right? So you got to realize when you're out of your gourd, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're filing. You don't know what you're responsible for. All you know is you need more money and more drugs.
So it says he is a well-educated lawyer and businessman. Where did he go to law school? Do you have any idea? He was a lawyer?
I have no idea. I didn't even know he was a lawyer.
Okay. He received more than $7 million in gross income, including approximately $1.5 million in 2016, $2.3 million in 2017, $2.1 million in 2018. I mean, this guy just got millions and millions of dollars, and he made this
law school
by using his last name and connections to secure lucrative business opportunities, such as a board seat at a Ukrainian industrial conglomerate.
Burisma.
Why would he do so? Why would Hunter Biden do that to the American people? Why would he do that? Why would he be so selfish?
Why are you sounding wholesome?
What do you mean sounding wholesome?
What does he care? What does Hunter Biden care about you?
Well, he's supposed
Hunter Biden is why? Why is he supposed to? He's just an average citizen.
So he just doesn't pay his taxes? What happens if I don't pay my taxes?
A lot of people don't pay their taxes.
Oh, a lot of people?
Don't you see those advertisement commercials every day on TV? Hey, you owe the IRS over $10,000? Call us. We'll negotiate it down to nothing.
So if you fudge your taxes or if you just don't pay them, how long does it take for the IRS to catch on to you?
I have no idea, to be honest with you. I mean, it could be, who cares? It could be a short period of time, could be a longer period of time.
Now, Dave, because you and Frank are different because you own your own businesses, you're responsible for paying your own taxes. Now, I'm assuming, do you do that quarterly? Or is it monthly? Or how's it?
If you run your own business, you have a thing called, depends on how you set up your company.
Quicken?
I have an LLC. So we
LLC.
It's a Schedule C. It runs the profit and loss through the tax form. And whatever that is, that's my
limited liability. Okay.
Based off of my profit or loss.
Okay. Frank?
I'm a sole corporation.
So what's the difference between that and an LLC?
Well, an LLC is sort of a little bit of a shield. You put your company and anything else, any other possessions in that corporation. It has limited coverage on certain things and all that, but you can draw off of it. I mean, I should do a corporation just to protect myself in case of accidents, slip and falls, suing situations like that. But I've been a sole proprietor for X amount of years, and I haven't changed.
Do you pay your taxes quarterly?
Yearly. You file your income tax.
Once a year.
You pay your sales tax quarterly.
Okay.
You pay your income taxes, both state and federal, once a year. You can prepay stuff if you want to. You can send the money early.
Wait a second. So the sales tax that you take in from the store, okay, so you have to pay that.
Correct.
You don't get to keep it.
No.
Okay. And you pay that, and then your own income tax you're talking about.
Correct.
Do you have to pay income tax on the store as well?
Well, my income is derived from the work there. So bottom line, yes, it's.
So it's basically however much Tony's Pizzeria intakes.
Whatever the net is, whatever the net off of anything, any other income that I have coming in, and the income of the business.
But I mean, nobody really checks, right?
Sure, they do.
They do.
Assuming.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm saying, like, what if you skimmed and lied like 10%? And just mailed in 10% less.
Anybody could do that.
Could they catch you?
I'm sure over time it'll build up. Sure.
Dave, did that ever cross your mind? I mean, were you concerned about paying your taxes and getting them in on time, or did you ever have to get extensions on them?
Sure, of course, I've had to get extensions.
Oh, you have. You've had. How long do they normally give you for an extension?
I don't remember what it is, but you have to file before a certain date to file an extension, and then
okay,
it gives you a certain amount of months more to get your tax return in.
Is this a political show, or are we doing a tax show here?
I'm just asking why.
Don't you pay taxes, Steve?
Yeah, I do.
How do you pay taxes, Steve?
We're the same as you.
Well, I do.
How do you file your taxes?
Mr. Tuzinski does it for me.
Right, and what is it, yearly?
No, it's quarterly.
You pay quarterly into your income taxes?
I just started doing it.
So you're just advance paying. Yeah, right.
Because that's what was advised to me.
Why?
I don't know. That's why.
How do you? So in other words, what he's doing, Dave, he's advance paying into something, and then he'll get a credit or a refund if he overpaid into it.
Yeah, I do it quarterly.
Right. I have no idea.
Because that's what Mr. Tuzinski told me to do.
I don't know what the benefit of that is, but whatever.
He said to do it quarterly.
Sure. And has he advised you to skim 10% off the top maybe to?
Well, no, but I asked, like, how do they keep track of this stuff? Like, what if
they have
what if I just spend $20? Like, they don't know.
They do have employees at the IRS. You know that, right?
I know.
Right, but they would have to go in your bank account to find out how much money you have, right? Or no?
No,
you determine tax, what you pay tax wise.
Oh, okay. Well, because I've never had my own business before, so being a 1099 and all that, so that's why he said to do it quarterly.
Let's use your 1099 as an example. Okay.
Yes.
So let's say you made $1 in your 1099. That
would have been disappointing.
You take that $1.
Yep.
I paid. That's your line item, okay, as your revenue.
That's your base, okay.
And your
expenses. So I have to pay tax off the dollar.
Your expenses. So let's say your microphone costs 25 cents, and let's say your headset costs 25 cents.
Oh, I can write that off.
Yeah, that would be your expense. You're probably doing some form of a Schedule C or
okay.
1099, but something along those lines. And then you get.
Well, I'm an independent contractor, Mr. Tuzinski says.
Yeah, but you're still a business. It's still treated.
Oh, as an LLC or incorporated.
No, not treated like an LLC. But
okay.
Like a sole proprietor. So.
Okay.
So
I got you.
You're taking.
So I'm a sole proprietor. Okay.
So you're taking your expenses. That 50 cents you spent on a microphone and headsets against your dollar.
Yeah.
$1 minus 50 cents is how much?
50. So
you would have 50 cents in profit. You would be taxed whatever your tax bracket is on there of your 50 cents.
Oh, okay. And I have to mail that in.
What the fuck are we talking about here?
I'm just asking.
This is a political show.
Well, Hunter Biden didn't pay his taxes.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't. He's been pardoned. He's been pardoned. That pardon will probably cover everything. It'll cover his back taxes. It'll cover his sexuality. It'll cover his drug use. It'll cover everything.
You think he's going to be pardoned?
Sure. Can we talk about the wildfires? Can we talk about real political stuff?
Can we talk about Joe Biden releasing another 15 or 18 Gitmo prisoners?
He's going to keep doing that until he leaves.
But those are the important things. Not if this guy paid his taxes. Who cares?
There's no way to stop Joe Biden from pardoning people.
There isn't right now. He can do whatever he wants, or the DNC can do whatever they want. But bottom line, he just forgave another X amount of billions in student loans. So now it's up to $183 billion in student loans that he's forgiven to people that have taken them out over time, which I believe there should be reduction in what they pay. I know a lot of it is criminal, the interest rates that were charged on that money.
That's ridiculous.
But bottom line, there should be renegotiation where at least you pay your fair share to clean your debt. Or if you have already paid into it for so many years and you've reached what you got to reach, then fine.
What group is part of that new group?
What's that?
What group is part of the new group that he's forgiving?
I don't know. It's another section of student loan people that owe and much. And he just lumped it all in together. Just read the article today. We're up to $183 billion.
Well, I told you my friend Chris Zalewski went to Utica University.
Yeah.
And he wants his money back,
right?
Because he paid his loans on time,
right? But
now they're forgiving loans,
and that's the problem. They shouldn't be forgiven. They should somehow be renegotiated to where they are fairly paid off, right? Okay, and what fair is, I don't know. That's when negotiations take place. But bottom line, that's important. So far there's been a study done on all the Gitmo detainees who have been released over the past 20 some odd years. Since 9/11.
Right.
32% of them have gone back to terrorist activities across this world.
Well, what did you expect? That's what they are.
Well, then the idea is, then why do you release them in the first place?
Because he wanted to make Trump's life.
It wasn't just him. It was a promise by Obama as well. The promise by Obama is to close Guantanamo Bay.
That's the problem. Close Gitmo?
No, not Biden. Obama promised to close Guantanamo Bay.
Wow.
Trump rescinded that when he got in. Now, the obviously the emphasis has been especially since the Democrats lost the election, has been to expedite every possible detainee left over there off that island.
But if you were to do that,
that's criminal.
Gitmo,
that's criminal.
Where would people go? Like, where the worst of the worst?
Oh, they'll put them in. My thing is they'll put them somewhere in the States or whatever. Well, they'll put them in Pelican Bay. They'll put them somewhere in the States, I'm assuming. Or right. Maybe they'll put them in your house. But bottom line, they're going to put them somewhere in the States here to be able to contain them. But I think that's what they're doing right now is totally illegal.
Oh, hugely.
Because they are putting terrorists, they are putting well-known, they put two of Osama bin Laden's bodyguards into that free system now of terrorists that are back, working. What do they work best? Terrorism. So how do you do that? How rationally do you do that? How is there no consequence to this administration and to him personally, since he's signing off on it right now? How is there no consequences to this? And how is this not in the news everywhere?
Okay, when you go to high school and middle school, and they teach you about the different branches of government, the executive, the judicial, and all that stuff. There's supposed to be the checks and balances. Well, how come there's no checks and balances for this?
Breaking news. Deion Sanders has talked to Jerry Jones about
all right.
They've had a
Cowboys job?
No. That takes away from my question. There's supposed to be checks and balances for all this.
Are we going to talk about the wildfires or...
We're going to get there. I want to know why there's no checks and balances.
Because there's no checks and balances is because this is not it's not a budget agenda.
Oh,
it's not nothing to do. This is a security agenda that needs to go through the administration, goes through the Secretary of Defense, goes through the Secretary of whatever it may be. I'm not going to say Interior, the CIA, the FBI, whatever intelligence agencies it needs to go through. That's where it needs to go through. But when you have known terrorists and you want to release them, and then you release them, and you want to release more. I mean, obviously, this is just a build up to do as much damage to the incoming administration as possible.
Yeah, it's purely personal.
Right,
and that's what enrages me.
And it's ridiculous.
It's personal,
right? But it's
not what's best.
It's gotten to a point of being ridiculous, and it's ridiculous in how it's covered by the media, which it's not covered at all.
It's slanted,
right? And so this is where it puts conservatives at a disadvantage because the information is not out there. The correct information is not out there. So we always look like idiots. We always look like we're behind. We always look like we're against the people. We always look like we're just angry or we hate a certain section of this country. We don't. We don't. What we hate is the misinformation.
I'm starting to hate them.
We hate the fogged brains that are analyzing all this shit.
Yeah,
that's what we hate.
Yes,
and making decisions about I like this, I don't like this, or this guy's bad, this guy's good. They're not reading through the crap to get to the actual honest truth of what's going on in this country right now with this administration on its last days.
So, Dave, you mentioned the wildfires, and Maria Shriver came out and she lambasted the mayor of LA, saying that this cannot go. The status quo is not working, and it's only going to get worse. Many people, including celebrities, have lost their homes in the Pacific Palisades area as wildfires continue to rage there and elsewhere in Los Angeles County, burning more than 27,000 acres, destroying 10,000 structures, and killing multiple people, according to local officials. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass has faced condemnation for her trip to Ghana. She went to freaking Ghana last week, which meant she was thousands of miles away from her city during the initial day of destruction on Tuesday. That just makes me appalled, disgusted, and sick. What kind of mayor goes to Ghana? What's in Ghana? You can't take care of your wildfires? You're just going to let your city burn?
It was a presidential inauguration there in Ghana. That's what she went for.
Yeah,
this was the same mayor. This is the same person.
She's stupid.
The same person that promised the year before when she was running for election for the mayor of LA that she would not take any extracurricular trips outside of the country because she had done that in her previous job.
She lied.
She'd done that in her previous job and abused it. And now she promised that she wouldn't. She not only went to Ghana, okay, she went to Mexico for the presidential inauguration there for the female president of Mexico. She ended up going to Paris 3 times for the Olympics.
Right.
I mean, this is total abuse of the political system.
I'm disgusted
in Los Angeles and the state of California.
Let me guess what political party she's a part of.
Yeah,
well,
right.
She's a Democrat, Dave.
She's not. She's a Democrat.
I forgot to say,
I'm shocked to find out there's gambling in here.
I have to say, for our listeners on the Studio 25 podcast network, Creative Outpost, David Warner, this is the Rebel Republic, with the voice of reason, Frank Cristiano, and Coach Schuman, the next greatest influencer. And we're talking about the California wildfires. We're talking about Hunter Biden not paying his taxes. We're talking about there is no goodwill going into 2025. And I don't like how this administration is leaving. They are leaving with their ass in the air and just shitting diarrhea everywhere. How is that allowed?
It's quite a vision.
It is.
But that's what they're doing. That's what they're being allowed to do. No one's stopping them.
Who's going to stop them?
There's checks and balances.
Where do you get this checks and balances?
I went to middle school.
I'm surprised.
There's the executive branch, the judicial branch, the legislative branch.
Correct.
And there's supposed to be checks and balances, so there's no dictator.
Right, but there's also a presidential signature. That overrides. Yeah, for pardons, for judgment.
I understand
all that
pardons.
overrides.
I understand
all that
pardons.
overrides.
But you don't think that because Biden is completely incompetent, he's a complete buffoon, he's a moron, he's dumber than dumb, that he should have power right now to pardon a donkey, let alone terrorist.
Well, the problem with the pardon is it's overused. It's overused about almost 9,000 times now.
I thought it's
with
very
the Biden
hard
administration.
To get a pardon.
It is hard to get a pardon, but when you're handing them out like all day suckers, like this administration is doing, it's very easy. And the thing is that
does he have a reason behind it?
I can't tell off the bat. It just looks like everything that has been pardoned, or everyone that has been pardoned, has some direct tie to the administration coming in. So it's obviously something to delay them, stall them, fight. Remember, we talked about the resistance a few weeks ago. This is basically what it is. It's anything and everything possible to allow a handprint to be put on there to say that, hey, man, there's no way that we're going to let Donald Trump slide into this looking good.
No, they're doing everything to hinder him. But it's at the expense of our own country. It's at the expense of our own people.
You're making the assumption that all politicians give a shit about this country. You're making the assumption that people in administrations give a shit about the country. Do you think when they have their morning? You think when the DNC? They're not. We're supposed to feel warm and fuzzy. They're paid.
Warm and fuzzy.
They are paid to keep their party in charge so that everyone can make more money.
I don't feel warm and fuzzy right now.
They don't care about you.
You said that it's all the Democrats want you to feel warm and fuzzy and get money from you. Depend on that.
The Democrats want to, but they're not. When I say they want you to, I'm not saying they want Steve Cully to. I'm just saying that they appeal to the masses. So the individual people, they don't give a shit about what you want individually.
Barack Obama doesn't care.
You could care less. Barack Obama could care less about anything.
Really?
Barack Obama didn't even want to get into this political fight because he knew it was a losing battle, no matter if he backed Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. One was senile and the other one's incompetent. Okay. The other one ran on hope and joy and love. Okay. And no speaking ability whatsoever. Wow. Okay. She did great in a debate supposedly against Donald Trump, but that's because the guy basically got fact checked all night.
Yeah, okay? He didn't get a chance
and basically
to
couldn't get right. And you know how Trump is anyways. He's going to go in circles sometimes when he talks, because once he gets on a rant about somebody, he can't get off of it.
Pissed.
And so it was a losing battle in that one little debate. And everyone's, oh my gosh, and they're bringing on all these movie stars and all these actors to her tour. And it wasn't even a rally. These were like tours. She was on tour. She was like Taylor Swift. Yeah, that's what she was doing. Yes. Yeah. And you know what? The average American got sick of it. Average American had enough. Even the ones that were on the fence were like, I can't take any more of this bullshit.
I can't.
I'm out.
I'm
you know
furious.
What? I'm voting for the guy that I know what I'm going to get. I get a little bit of insults. I get a little bit of right-wing conservatism and all that. I get a lot of laughter when I watch him. Yeah. But bottom line, I'm voting for that guy right there because I cannot take her. And it's not because she's a woman. It's not because that she is compassionate. It is because the policies that she backed and the way that she presented them.
We still don't know her policy.
Stink.
She flip-flops.
Closing my door over here.
Dave, Colin Rugg is a reporter in the LA area and said this just in: LA Fire Chief Kristen Crowley doubles down on throwing Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass under the bus. Crowley said Bass's leadership did negatively impact their effort to stop the fire. Let me be clear, quote, the $17 million budget cut and elimination of our civilian positions, like so many, is the reason this is happening. So she cut the budget by $17 million, and that is a huge reason that this is happening right now. The Democrats cut the budget, and the California wildfires are stronger than ever.
Dave's frozen. He's frozen in time.
I'm here.
Yes, Davey.
Enjoy.
I know you're tired. But I'm just saying that they cut the budget, $17 million, the fire budget.
That's what you were talking about. Right now, everybody's pointing the finger at somebody else, and
yes, which they should.
The fire chief, Miss DEI herself.
Oh, she's a DEI.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
So she's pointing the finger at Bass, who's the mayor of
L.A. Yes,
L.A. And that she cut her budget. Supposedly there was a reserve of 117.
There were 17 million, 17.5 million
gallons of reserve water that they shut down a month before.
Oh my God!
There's always conspiracies that are floating. Governor Newsom said, "Oh, we don't have a shortage of water," and then now he wants to investigate why there is a shortage of water. California is run by fraudsters and leftists. And,
very, very left. They're communists.
And there's a lot of conspiracy theorists that think that they want that land back, and that's what part, these. But let's take this conspiracies out of it. The gross incompetence of California,
it's embarrassing.
Fire department, all of them. It's hilarious that they start pointing at each other because that's all they can do. Because they're gross incompetence. And what you have is 25 people currently dead. Obviously, hundreds of
thousands. It's burn, baby, burn. I mean, the game got moved because of this. I mean, they couldn't practice outside because the air quality was
the money was there. The money was not appropriated to the budget. Whether it was conflict or it was confusion, the money was there. Here's where you got to lay the blame.
Would they go to Hawaii or they go to Ghana?
I don't know. Here's where you got to lay a lot of the blame. So the county executive, the county supervisor, whatever she may be called, she's in charge of the reservoirs. She's in charge of obviously everything goes on in that county.
Yeah, right.
The reservoir was left empty.
Empty?
There was a crack in the reservoir, so they emptied it out to try to fix it. They took an inappropriate amount of time, which seems to be normal now in politics and in construction, especially at the state level. They took an inordinate amount of time to try to fix the crack. They did not fix the crack. The reservoir that protects that county had no water in it. So she makes $750,000 a year to make sure these problems don't happen. And it happened. That's where you got to go back and start with first. Because whether there's a shortage of money, whether there's not enough guys, whether the winds were bad, you need to fight a fire. You need water.
Yeah.
And they had no water.
And they didn't fix the reservoir.
Right. So the reservoir's cracked, not fixed. There's no money. There's no water there. The money that comes through the north, the water that comes from the north to the south, a lot of it gets diverted and dumped into the ocean because of the fish that they're trying to save. The smelt. Okay, so that's part of the problem. The
smelt?
Yeah. There's some sort of endangered species fish, and they can't have the overflow of water to kill.
I like smelt.
Right.
So.
The extra fire trucks that were coming from the north, from Canada, from Oregon, from Washington, from Northern California, that were coming down. And actually, the Northern Californians were okay because they had been inspected. They had to stop in Sacramento, the capital of California, and they had to be inspected to make sure that they conform with state regulations of vehicles coming into the state. Okay, rescue vehicles, fire vehicles. And they didn't conform. So that aid was held up in Sacramento and had to stay in Sacramento. Even when it relieves and it gets down there, they're going to send it back to Sacramento because they got to re-inspect it another time as they leave to go back to their own state. This is the kind of crap that infuriates the average American.
Well, yeah.
It's stupid.
I agree.
It makes no sense. There's a time of emergency. Get them down there. I don't care about any state regulations. Blow by it. All right. We need water. Let's divert whatever water we can.
Yeah, get some water.
The Pacific Palisades, right? Okay. So the Palisades have rows of homes, and then after the rows of homes, you see what? The ocean, the water. So where are these smart people? Let's figure out how to get that water that's a quarter mile away. I don't even know what the distance is from the Palisades homes to the water, but besides helicopter and plane that scoop up water out of the ocean, how do we get that water over there? There's got to be a way, and that's the incompetence that state has shown. And you know who takes responsibility first? It's the captain of the Titanic, and that's the governor.
The governor,
and then it works its way down.
Yeah.
And then you see the incompetence work all through the political system in California.
Council people, the councilmen.
You see, You see it working all the way down through to the mayor. And all you see the mayor do is brush it off, smile, and say they're going to get to the bottom of this, because you know why? They know people forget after a while, right? Yeah. And they forget, and they start to forgive. They forget and forgive. This is not going to happen this time. You know why?
No.
This fire cost
people are killing.
This fire will cost $100 billion, $150 billion.
It can't be 100.
Oh, it can, without a doubt.
You're going to say it's going to cost that much to put it out?
Not to put it out. There are homes. There are tens of thousands of homes that are razed to the ground
in land that's destroyed.
You're gonna. They not only have to send down. They don't have to send down investigators. They not only have to do a count of each home and what happened. Then they has to go back to the insurance companies. The insurance companies have to go back and they're going to fight it. They're not going to pay you the full amount of value.
Want to pay.
And the one that we're only talking about the ones that are insured. Dave, what about the ones that have no insurance?
The insurance were canceled on these people.
How can you? And I know the state has a fund.
That's crazy.
The state has an emergency insurance fund. You pay into it, and it'll give you some sort of coverage on your house. How much is that going to last? Now, I do know the rule is that all the insurance companies that are selling insurance in that state would have to pitch in to fund that state fund to make it whole for whatever claims are there. But do you know the arguments that's going to go on, the fights that are going to go on? Do you know how hard it is? It's going to get talk about. They're worried about illegal immigrants are going to be thrown out of the country with the new rule by President Trump.
They're going to get burned,
so, right? So there's not going to be any construction crews. How are they going to rebuild all these homes?
Yeah.
How are they going to get all the material to all these homes?
Yeah.
It's infallible. There's no way this is going to happen. It'll take. It might take a decade.
Dave, how many miles are affected by these fires? Is it like hundreds of miles?
The whole entire Palisades is wiped out.
I don't know the Palisades. How big are they?
All the way. It's basically like Malibu, all the way down to like LA, along the coast.
And could this have been stopped sooner had the mayor taken action? Or the fire chief had taken action sooner?
What action can they take? They have no water.
They had no resources. They had no water. They had no.
Well, if they knew that this was coming, couldn't they have planned for it? No.
You can't plan on this. I mean, the new wind that is the Santa Ana corridor,
right?
For winds,
right?
You combine somebody that started a fire, or somehow a fire started,
right?
And you combine that with 100-mile-an-hour wind. And no rain in that area for over a month and a half or 2 months. They've had a drought there, and you have no water in the reservoir, and you're down the number of firemen in the departments, and your equipment is not up to date. Right?
Yeah,
it's a perfect storm.
Yeah,
but bottom line,
what a time for it.
Listen, it's remember the podcast we did a few months ago about Haiti, and they had no food.
Yeah, they were eating cats and dogs.
LA has no water. All right, so the goal should have been, hey,
they
you know what?
Ocean. Can't they use the ocean?
The goal should have been, hey, you know what? We have a drought right now. Yeah. We need water. We don't need to tell people to conserve water. How do we bring more water in? They have water.
Yeah.
They have 17 functioning reservoirs in that state that are full to capacity.
Right. So
right.
The water was there.
How do we get the water
to the right place
when we need it?
And they didn't do that.
That should be the focus on who dropped the ball on that, and then heads should roll. But that's never going to happen because I've asked for heads to roll. I don't know, but you know what, Steve? This is a different situation right now. I don't see this not happening. I see something happening right now. I see when you see Maria Shriver say something.
Well, that speaks volumes.
Exactly, Dave. Now the ones who have the money are speaking out and are pissed, and those are the ones that get listened to. Those are the ones that have influence in the government.
Yes.
So now you'll have investigations, and you'll have hearings, and you'll have the governor brought up. This will put a tarnish on this governor's
in front of Congress.
This will put a tarnish on this governor's record as far as maybe being able to run for president in the next election. I'll tell you that 10-1
because he mishandled it.
I'm telling you. But bottom line, it's mishandled again. When the Titanic sinks, I don't blame the guy in the engine room. I blame the captain first, and then it goes down. Captain, So bottom line, a lot of mismanagement, top to bottom, from either environmental rules that are put in. I think the rule for the smelt was put in during the Nixon administration.
The smelt,
right? So they were trying to. So they said that you got to protect that species. So they diverted all the water, and they're dumping. And you know who said this a month ago, or a month and a half ago, almost 2 months ago, and was totally correct? Was Donald Trump. Donald Trump, in the interview on the Joe Rogan podcast, was the one who said about California wildfires, brush fires. He said two things.
Well, this is the time of year.
He said the water, but he said he said there could be a major event happening because the water is being diverted and they have no water in a drought. And number two, the forests are not cleared of the dead logs, the dead brush, the dead leaves,
the dry,
that spark up when you could sneeze at them and you're going to start a fire.
Wow.
So bottom line, again, people want to make fun of this guy and they say he can't read, he's incompetent, he's stupid.
Hitler.
This guy knows what he's doing most of the time. You got to give him credit on that. They won't because you're right. He's Hitler.
He has a ton of experience, life experience, and he's been around. And
I know.
Business in a lot of places. Okay. And it doesn't mean because you're a businessman that you will succeed in presidency. But he has
I trust him.
He's shaken a lot of hands. He's seen a lot of things that a lot of people have not seen. So, it's not that he's Nostradamus. He just has seen these things play out. And that's the thing that's I hate when I listen to these people where they talk about dude, he just has seen these things. It's like this, okay? When you watch a sports game, okay, you guys are both coaches, and you see something develop, okay, and you know something should be done next after you see something go in a football play, and then it's not done.
Yes.
Okay.
And it just gets worse.
Ball in from the 1 yard line up the middle 3 times. Okay.
It just gets worse.
When it's not done, you realize there's something going on because you have experience in that area. And I think that's where people undervalue Donald Trump, is that he has experience in a lot of different areas because he's done business internationally.
Dave, excuse me, I have to interrupt you. We have Lisa Goldenthal. Okay. Seriously, now is not the time to point fingers when thousands of people have lost their homes and businesses. How about something positive, like supporting the firefighters? That is all misinformation, by the way. Here is the misinformation you are spreading. Check your facts. And she gave an Instagram thing. So why don't you check your facts, Dave? Hey, Lisa, guess what? I don't care if I have facts or not. I don't care.
Shove it up your ass, Lisa.
I do. My facts are.
We obviously support the people. Give me a fucking break with your bullshit.
Your mayor is in Ghana. Your mayor took a trip to Ghana. That's what your mayor's doing to help the wildfires.
Your state sucks.
But
your mayor can't fix a reservoir.
That trip could have been taken. Obviously, it was planned ahead of time. It's not. Listen, it's a total collapse, one after another. You don't think? Listen, you don't think we care about the people right there? I can't picture it mentally what it is right now that's happening there, because the fires are still going.
Terrible what's happening.
So I'm seeing is newsreel after newsreel after newsreel of people who have lost their homes. They're in shock, and these aren't millionaires. They're regular people. So
you want something positive, Lisa? You want something positive?
But you have to understand something. I am positive about.
Show me where it is.
I am positive about one thing. I am positive that there is a total mismanagement, top to bottom, in that state. And it's only a small handful of people that have messed it up for the tens of thousands in those communities. So, yes, is there sympathy for who doesn't have sympathy for those people? My wife, we were just talking about it this morning. How do we organize clothing, shoes, food? How do we get? We're in New York State. Yeah. We're in New York State. Yeah. I'm on the opposite side of the country. I don't know how to get that put together right away. And I'm not going to donate money. You know why I'm not going to donate money? Because the Red Cross blows a lot of the cash that you give, and they don't give it to the charities that they're hitting.
They keep it for themselves. Okay. They keep the bare minimum.
The organizations that you do, they have a hierarchy, and they all get paid first before money goes to the charities that are trying to help. So giving cash directly, I don't believe in that. Okay, I believe if I would drive down there. I'd rather hand out cash to somebody if I could. Okay, so we've sat and thought about this. We've sat and tried to organize. How are we going to organize it? We'd like to help. We have no problem with that. Do I have sympathy? Absolutely. What if my community burnt down to the ground? I'd be out there. I'll tell you what I would do if I was the mayor or if I was the county commissioner.
I wouldn't go to Ghana.
No. I don't. Again, the Ghana thing, whatever. But that's a pre-planned trip. Right. Right. My thing is, I'd put a shovel in my hand and I'd go out in the dig line with some of those firefighters.
Yeah.
I would put a shovel in my hand. I would go out in the dig line. And that's how I would show sympathy if I'm a politician in those districts, instead of hiding behind a microphone or not even being a face into the public. So that's what I would do personally. That's just me. Okay. But bottom line, do we have sympathy for those people? Absolutely. I tear for some of those people, and that's no joke. I couldn't imagine what they're going through right now. Okay. But on the other hand, there has to be accountability held for the people that mess this up. And yes, it's not global warming, okay? Because if they had all the checks and balances in place, this would have never happened. Or it would have happened, but it would have been a lot smaller. It would have been like hey, we see wildfires every year in California. The droughts happen. This is an eventuality. But most of them, if not all of them, have been contained to certain points, okay? So we would see a much better job of handling this. But this has been a failure from the top down, and those handful of people need to be held accountable for the tens of thousands that have lost everything that they've lost.
And I wholeheartedly agree, which is why I think, I said,
why are you making it? Why is this lady making it into misinformation just because she doesn't like the information that is being said?
She said to check your facts, Dave. She wants us to check our facts.
I'll check my facts. All I have to do is
she gave us an Instagram page.
All I have to do is plop on the TV to see the fires that are spreading across California. It doesn't take a genius to see the facts.
Yeah, I agree. My point is, I still go back 2021. Everyone knew Joe Biden was completely incompetent, and they let him serve his presidency.
Well, that has nothing to do with necessarily with California.
It does down the line. That's where it started.
I don't know. Maybe.
They put this puppet up when they should have investigated him. They should investigate him when he's leaving. He's doing a whole bunch of suspicious shit. His son is a train wreck of all train wrecks. He's pardoning people left and right. He's pardoning terrorists.
To do those things.
He's allowed to do those things.
We don't agree with it, but he's allowed to. That's the problem.
I'm allowed to take a shit on Frank's table right now. I could take a shit right now on Frank's kitchen table. I'm allowed to do that. That doesn't mean it's right. That doesn't mean it's just. That doesn't mean it should be allowed. It should not be allowed. Joe Biden, just because he's kicking away
I would dump you on your head if you took a shit on my table right now.
He's kicking and screaming, going out of office. He's kicking and screaming like a toddler, pardoning people. His son's into it up to his ass with trouble, and he's forgiving millions upon millions of dollars in student loans. And the checks and balances, nobody is doing anything to stop him. He needs to go.
He is going to go. He's going to be gone in a few days.
He's going to be gone in a few days, but he's making life miserable.
To Lisa's point again, though, I have to disagree. I think that we do need to bring this to the spotlight. We do need to hold people accountable.
I agree.
It needs to happen sooner, not later, because we forget as it goes on.
Exactly.
We forget. And then all this other investigative stuff will come out to make it even look worse. I'm telling you right now.
I agree.
But I think we have to bring it to the spotlight. It has to be part of the issue. And there has to be a solution to it, and a solution to it right away, because if not, the incompetence will continue. Think about this cleanup that's going to happen right now.
Oh, it's gonna take months upon months, years.
You're going to allow this political, I don't know, I can't say wildfire, this political mess to go in and try to organize themselves to clean it up. I don't see that happening either.
No.
And again, who suffers? It's the people on the ground. It's the average citizen. It's some of the millionaires. They got mansions there too, but they're in a better situation than those people right now that just have a small home and they're wiped out. So I think we have to bring this to the limelight. We have to be on top of this right away. There needs to be talk about this. I'm no judge, jury, and executioner.
I am.
But if we don't bring up and we did bring up some facts, Lisa. I'm not. If you can tell me that we're wrong about what we see either in the print or in the media, as far as the contention between the mayor of LA and the fire chief of LA, right there, you're talking about two people that are going against each other right now as far as budgetary issues, as far as water, as far as preparation. If you can tell me that the county commissioner did a good job of repairing that reservoir that is totally empty, which was a total presentation on NBC Nightly News. So I'm going to take that to fact too. So these are things, and the smelt is a smelt. And we know that. And the fire trucks coming down from Northern California and from Oregon and Washington have been stopped, and we know that. So you've got to actually believe that we're pulling out facts. This is not secondhand knowledge, or we're not making stuff up because we're a conservative talk show and we dislike Democrats. I don't dislike Democrats. I dislike the thought process that most Democrats go through, and that is to be lenient, too compassionate, and too unwilling to be able to take blame when blame is laid out.
I dislike the ignorance that's going on. It's pure ignorance, and we're letting it go, and we've let it go for years, and Biden's been allowed to get away with it. Kamala's been allowed to get away with it, and now this mayor from L.A. is jet-setting off to Ghana, and who knows where else. I mean, maybe she's in Panama City at Club La Vila doing a wet T-shirt contest. Who knows?
That's misinformation.
No, maybe she is. Maybe she's at Club La Vila. She's got a wet T-shirt contest. Maybe that's what she's doing because she's not taking care of her wildfires. She's letting burn, baby, burn, and she doesn't care.
Yeah, but she directly can have no impact now on the fires.
Right.
The fires are left to.
It's done now.
Right. Her impact would have been in leadership before all this happened.
And she clearly is not a leader. She clearly is a train wreck.
I think what you can see in politics, and most of the time it goes to the politicians' heads. They are there. The money is there. The celebrity is there. The power is there, and it gets abused. And you can see that happening at all different levels.
A lot of them are elected without really having the ability to lead, and that's really the problem.
Yeah, that's why I should be a congressman. I could be a congressman.
No.
What difference would be? I could do better than the mayor from L.A. I would get water. I would put the fire out.
I don't know how you would get water because there's nowhere to bring it in from.
I'd bring it in from.
You didn't plan it
from Montana.
It's called planning.
I'd plan it. I'd say Montana, I need water, or I'd go get water from the ocean and I'd fill up buckets.
Yeah,
there is a way to get ocean water.
Yes, you can get it from the Pacific Ocean. Yes,
right. There is a process that
you can siphon it.
Yeah, there is a I don't know exactly how you, but I read that there's a way they do it.
There is a way. You can siphon the water from the ocean, and you could use it on the wildfire. And
thank you for participating and yelling at us, though. Whoever the lady was.
Lisa, she wasn't yelling. She wasn't yelling. She just made her point, and she wants more compassion towards the people that are hurting now. Don't bring up the political side.
I would be shocked if people weren't compassionate to it.
Lisa, listen, I have no compassion because there's incompetence all around, and you're one of the people that are allowing it.
Wait a minute.
You are allowing people in your government, in your state, to be stupid, ignorant, and incompetent.
Why, is she from California?
Yeah, we don't know where
she must be.
No, she could probably be. She could be from anywhere.
She's a Democrat. She's whatever.
She may not be a Democrat.
Well, she is.
My thing is, Ron DeSantis put it the best. Okay.
Steve's ready.
What if this were a Republican governor and a Republican mayor? What would the media do to them?
The problem would have been solved.
No. What
would the media do?
What would the media
do? These people.
They'd be impeached.
They'd be hanging.
They'd be impeached
from the only tree left from that wildfire.
Right. Yes. Yes. They'd be castrated.
Right.
They'd be castrated.
Exactly. So that's the difference. And that's kind of where the conservatives get angry.
Yes.
Because there's no fair field.
There's no fair
as far as comparisons.
There's no fair
when events happen. And that's
you're
where
wrong, Miss Goldenthal is not from California. She is from Washington.
Oh, that's even worse. Go hug a tree.
Washington, I feel terrible. Then
go hug a tree, Lisa.
Your fire trucks weren't allowed to come in. They didn't meet the emission standards for California.
Lisa, go to Aberdeen and hug a tree for me, please.
She means well. Why would
she does not mean well? She does not mean well.
She does.
She doesn't. No, she doesn't.
Very attractive woman.
She's thinking of the people that are there right now and suffering. Who says that's not wrong? There's nothing wrong in it.
I'm not. Listen. All of us are suffering, and the people there are suffering.
You're
horribly.
suffering.
You're suffering.
The people there are suffering horribly, but they're suffering because the people who are in charge of the goddamn city are incompetent, stupid, fucking morons, and that's sad. People are dying
again
because the leadership are morons and incompetent.
It will be exposed over time. There's definitely a lot involved. It's definitely the perfect storm of fires.
It's not going to be exposed over time.
It will be. It will be because there's too much money involved.
I hope so.
It will be because there's too much money involved. See, the Hunter Biden scandal really was exposed by accident because of the laptop, but it wasn't truly exposed and didn't go all the way to fruition as far as punishment.
No,
because the money is chump change.
Yeah,
$1.5 million he got from a Burisma or whatever, and he got this, and maybe Joe got $1 million. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares because every politician's in on the take,
and everyone does cocaine.
Right, but the thing is, right now, when you're looking at what is going to happen in Los Angeles and in the counties that are affected by these fires, we are going to be in the hundreds of billions of dollars. This is going to be the largest.
And we have to pay for it. The taxpayers of California will be paying.
Well, it's a combination of everyone pitching in to pay for this, but the problem is
real estate.
Exactly, because there's not going to be any.
The cost of real estate is going to go through the roof.
Well, we'll get some trailers.
I'm telling you right now, Dave, this is going to be a decade project to get LA back to looking like what it would look like before. You're talking 10, 15, 20,000 structures. How do you construct that many in what period of time? And where's the funding coming from? And in the meantime, how do these companies and how does the state compensate people? Where are they going to live? What hotel are they living in? What other arrangements are they going to find? Are they moving out of the state?
Yeah, Chris D, you're right. California, you get what you vote for.
It's going to drive.
You get what you vote for, California.
Everything is right, exactly. So the magnitude of this is I can't even put my mind to it right now. How this is going to end up for that state and for this country, because we can keep throwing money at the problem, but if we don't insulate that area from happening again, I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah, California, you wanted Kamala. Well, you didn't get her. And you know what? You got chlamydia instead. So
what does this have to do with anything? Stay on topic. Stay on path.
In reality, how long will it take to put these fires out?
Well, right now,
at the rate they're going.
They say tomorrow is another gust up of winds.
Jesus Christmas!
So you're talking about certain areas. Palisades was only, as of last night, was only 11% contained.
Right.
The Eaton fires are out. I think the Eaton fires are 100% contained, which is fantastic. Right. You've got hot spots around all those areas that are still going.
Right.
So you're talking about they're going to have another gust up of winds. It is still dry. They still don't have any water.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
So this could go on for another month.
I don't know if it'll be that long, but
a couple weeks.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, the guys you got to say, and yes, but at least we should be talking about the people that the firemen there are working overtime.
No, the firemen are doing everything they can.
They're dead on their feet. People are helping each other out. There, I saw a talk of a little article of food trucks coming in and setting up at the Santa Anita Raceway.
Yeah,
and they're just feeding anything they can do to feed people. People are bringing in clothing. I mean, this is a natural relief effort, and everyone seems to be pitching in that area, which is Frank, fantastic.
You're saying that regardless of who was in charge, that this was going to happen regardless, and it couldn't have been handled any better.
No, I'm saying something was good. It just looks like it's a domino effect. It looks like everyone, it looks like no one cared. Yeah, no one did their job. No one did their job.
Just like they did in Minnesota when it was burn, baby, burn.
So if there's a crack in the reservoir and you have it emptied because you're working on fixing it and then refilling it, and you're in Los Angeles area and it's the driest season they've had in X amount of years, you wouldn't be expediting and checking on it every day to see where we are. And in the meantime, where do I have backup water just in case? I mean, you're the county commissioner. That's your job.
Season. Yeah,
but that's your job. Yes. So people are not doing their jobs.
Yes.
And they're being compensated fairly well.
And they should all be castrated.
I would say $750,000 in compensation yearly for that job is not a bad job, Dave. I mean, I think I'd apply for that job.
$50,000?
Yep.
Dave, we need to become Singapore and start caning people and castrating.
So
then they'll learn their lessons.
How do we figure on fixing this, and how do we fix it both politically? How do we fix it both economically, social issues? I mean, you got to think of there's so many things up and down. I mean, schools are destroyed. I mean, you're talking, it's just landmarks are destroyed,
destruction
businesses
across the board.
So this
makes me sick.
This people don't realize, thoughts and prayers. Enough of that bullshit.
No, I know.
Enough of people saying that.
Thoughts and prayers are just words.
We need action. We need action.
We need action.
We need action from every region in this country to help that area.
Frank, book us 2 flights to California.
Listen, there's no joke. We were talking about it this morning. We would jump in a car.
I would.
How do we help? I don't know. I need a contact there. I need to find out how do I do this?
We'll call Kamala.
Well, all I'm saying is that there are a lot of willing and good people out here in this country. We're much better than we are worse. We're good people, and we mean well, and we want to help. But after a while, when you get told,
pissing into the wind.
When you get told lie after lie after lie,
you're pissing into the wind.
From government agencies, from state agencies, from politicians, from people scared and they don't want to lose their jobs, so they're covering everything up.
They don't want to lose their job.
People are embezzling money left and right, and they're telling you, "Don't worry, you hang on, keep eating the ramen noodles, we'll be okay." So when you hear all this and you see it,
I don't like ramen.
After a while, the blood pressure just builds up.
Yeah.
Okay.
My blood pressure.
And we can't take it anymore.
I can't.
We can't take it anymore. We're tired of the incompetence. We're tired of the excuses.
I am.
We're tired of everything being having our backs up against the wall, trying to figure just how to survive in the country.
Why do I have to figure it out?
I don't want to hear any more about Democrats telling me that. Why would I be complaining about food or cheap gas or cheap food? See, you gave up women's rights for cheap gas and cheap food. No, I didn't.
Abortion.
Okay, no, I didn't. Women have every right. They have their rights.
They have abortion.
Okay, if it's an abortion, that issue is not as important to me as being able to feed my family, or my neighbor being able to feed my family, or the guy down the road being able to make enough money to pay his mortgage on his house so he doesn't lose it.
Correct.
That issue, I apologize, but it's further down on the list for me. There are more important things to do and think about in this country for the average. Now, if I'm a guy, listen, if I'm a multimillionaire and I'm good for you. Good for you that you have the cash, expendable cash, to not worry about anything. But bottom line, I feel for the average American. I consider myself well off. I'm luckier than shit. What I got right now. I don't have a ton, but I got some. I got some. And I get up every morning and I work all the way through the night for it. Yeah. Okay, so nothing's on a silver platter. But bottom line, we got to stop getting away from this. Oh, people aren't hurting. People, there are a ton of people here that are hurting, and we are providing money, assistance, aid, resources to every other friggin' country in the world
except our own.
We're
going to Ukraine, Hamas, and Israel, and Lebanon, and Saudi Arabia.
So where's the money?
China.
Hey, do you know where else? They lost? I think it was.
And we're gonna annex Canada.
40,000 homes. It was 40,000 homes. And I forget what else they lost. As far as they lost their schools, they lost. You know where else that happened? North Carolina. Those floods. Correct. That whole area really? Right in there, the whole corridor, right, the whole mountain area. That whole area didn't lose like 10,000 homes. They lost like 40,000 residences. Wow. Things got wiped out.
Destroyed.
Correct. Destroyed. Wow. And where is the help and the assistance to that area right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's up their ass.
You're correct. The fires are tragic. They're terrible, but they are in Palisades is predominantly a wealthy area. And they got some high rollers in Palisades. Money talks. So money is diverted there.
And bullshit walks.
What about the people in North Carolina? What about the people in Hawaii? What about how's that?
Well, there's a lot of Samoans in Hawaii.
How's that rebuilding going after what happened? The fire that happened in Hawaii.
Yeah, that's true.
How's that going? So, but we have enough money to send to third world countries,
billions of dollars
to send to wars.
Here you go, Ukraine.
To send to house projects to stave off terrorism. We're going to pay one group so they don't turn terrorists against the other group. And after a while, if you can't take care of yourself first, how can you take care of anybody else? And we got to change the priorities in this country, and we have to fight for that.
Yeah, it's about HUD. So, Dave, we have to sign off in a minute. Do you have any last words on this discussion about the wildfires that you wanted to talk about, and Hunter Biden just not paying taxes, and the regular Biden pardoning everyone and forgiving student loans? It's been a banner episode.
I don't care that much anymore about Hunter Biden because he's pardoned.
Yeah.
Student loan thing. The truth is, I actually don't care that much about that either, because I think that now I feel bad that people have paid it back, and I don't think that's right. Yeah. But I think fuck the loan companies. Those guys are loan sharks on
they are just with a suit. They're loan sharks with a suit.
Where I don't like the fact that there are people that are chosen to get forgiven versus other people who are not.
Right.
But I don't, and this is kind of, even though I'm obviously to the right, this is more of a probably left thing. I think that the companies that made the loans to students, those students didn't really know what they were signing.
No, they didn't know what they were getting into. No idea.
But if you're getting a loan, a student loan, and it's going through the government, why is the government allowed to sell it off to a bank?
Exactly. 3 times the different organizations.
I mean, bottom line, the government should be giving you a 1% interest loan on that.
Correct.
And they're paying 20, 30% on loans. Yeah. It's a joke.
Cool. Yeah.
And who's to blame on that?
Biden.
No, it's gone before that. Who knows? It's gone before that. But obviously, everyone in Congress is to blame because they should have brought that up years ago.
The original intent was to give more people to get opportunities in college. But the bottom line is, what was the original intent? The banks took advantage of, charge higher interest rates, put these people behind the 8 ball, and no one could have suspected. Like when Clinton was pushing a lot of this stuff in the 90s, I don't think anyone really thought that the prices of school would go through the roof the way it was. Everyone understood. Look, if you go to a private university, it's going to cost more, but public school universities are through the roof. So I don't think when all this stuff originally were like, okay, yes, we'll get more people to go to college this way. I don't think the foresight was that not just the loans would be higher rates, but the fact that they would have to take out such a high amount dollar of loans because the schools would take advantage of the fact that students are getting loans to raise the prices. That's what's happening. So that's my issue there. So that's why I'm kind of have I would say almost a leftist view on that one, where I kind of think that fuck the banks. I know I feel bad for the people who paid it back, but fuck them. And then I think they should have gave more reasonable loans, and universities should have gave more reasonable costs for school. Then what was the last thing? The fires. Well, bottom line is there has to be some level of accountability. To me, if you look, you got to put the first priority is to put out the fires. I don't think at this point people are not trying to put out the fires. So I don't think that's the case. The problem was what happened leading up to this, that you did not know that this was going to be a problem.
Exactly.
Okay? Yes, I feel terrible for the victims of these things, of this. These towns are wiped out completely. It's like an apocalypse. Okay, it's terrible. But the bottom line is, while we're solving this issue, we need to hold politicians' feet to the fire.
And we will.
To the fire.
We will. All right. Unfortunately, we got to sign off because my ride will be here soon. So, for the voice of reason, Frank Cristiano, and the next greatest influencer, Coach Schuman, 1.2 million subscribers and counting. This has been Rebel Republic. You're either with us or you're against us. And for the mayor of LA, don't go to Ghana. Stop your fires. Support your people. You're incompetent. You're incompetent and you make me sick, and you're vile like human excrement. Remember I said that. And remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade, take 2 oranges, and you shove them straight up the ass of the mayor of LA.
People, stay great. Think straight.